These cassettes are extremely rare. Here's why. When it comes to my music collection, I really don't have a lot of cassettes. Most of you know me for my vinyl record collection, but recently I was sent a handful of cassettes from a record label known as Liminal Garden, and what they sent me has completely blown my mind. The micro label is known for their nature wave releases, an outgrowth of the vaporwave genre that features an emphasis on organic sounds and ambient moods. The music coming out of this nature wave micro genre, if we want to call it that, as you can tell by its name, is all inspired by the sights and sounds of nature. This has translated into some beautiful album art and aesthetics that are paired with these releases. And what I'm about to show you today has just taken the design of packaging and music to a whole nother level. These are some of the most rare releases I am absolutely blessed and thankful to own. And we're going to be taking a look at all of the magic that went into each of these limited edition pieces, all concluding with what I can now easily say is the holy grail of my cassette collection. If this is your first time here at the channel and you love exploring the fascinating world of music, make sure you click that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and leave a like on the video. Doing so helps the channel out so much, and I can't thank you enough for being here with me today. And one last thing before we begin today's video, you can use code PAD15 to get 15% off at the awesome shop over at Vapor95. They have a bunch of cool things over there, from hoodies to custom Game Boys and much, much more. The link to automatically apply the discount is down in the description below, as well as a link to today's topic in written form over at their Darknet blog. The sound and overall idea of Nature Wave can be traced back to classic releases like Cat System Corp's Earth Alias, the beautiful Overgrowth split, and Path to Lost Eden, the legendary collab between Mesh and Telepath. I was able to get in touch with the owner of Liminal Garden and talk about the sound of Nature Wave and how the style has influenced the creation of the label. They found that while other genres stemming from vaporwave may be looking critically at themes of overly romanticized nostalgia, consumerism, urbanism, or futurism, Nature Wave tends to find its outlook through spirituality and a close relationship with nature. When I created the label, I was looking for a way to make it distinct from its contemporaries, and also a way to easily communicate to artists what kind of music I'm looking for. So in that way, it's also just a nifty catchphrase to make Liminal Garden stand apart from the rest a bit. I really want to waste no time today getting into these cassettes. There is so much to talk about, and each album sent to me is just so special in their own right. I received 5 cassettes in total from Liminal Garden, and the first one I want to talk about today is Existence Meditation by Dream Channel, making its way onto a limited edition clear shell cassette with incredible on-body printing on both sides. This thing just feels so special holding it in my hands. It's kind of hard to put into words how gorgeous this cassette looks, and hopefully the camera right now is doing it justice here. This was the first in the label series of physical releases, which included an exclusive newly composed track for the B-side from Dream Channel for the release. Each side is 35 minutes long and takes its time with a beautiful, entrancing build-up. The label puts it pretty perfectly, describing it as a hyper-emotional slush wave lullaby. I couldn't agree more with that. That matte gloss finish on the on-body printing gives this design so much depth and emphasis on top of that translucent cassette, and allows the shell to shine when placing it in front of a window. A beautiful simple green obi strip as the cherry on top all ties the packaging of this release together wonderfully. I love physical releases that feel layered, or ones that, just want to be explored, and as you're about to see, Liminal Garden just knocks it out of the park with how these cassettes are designed. Some might look at a cassette tape as a mere medium for storing music in an inferior quality. I see it as a way to hold a tiny part of that artistic creation in your hands and call it your own. Next up is the 4-track release from the artist Binary Deconstructed, Meditation Time, bursting to life with special spot gloss UV LED printing on both sides of the cassette, as well as an expansive 4-panel full-color J-card that also includes a short story. Meditation Time just feels like something straight out of a shrine in Breath of the Wild. The album plays through like an expedition into a mysterious jungle, swirling winds, ancient strings, and other exhilarating sounds found throughout nature, all brought to life through the cuts, lines, and detail present on the cassette. I'm mostly influenced by other labels, first and foremost Underwater Computing and Global Pattern, but also Villain and No Problema. The beauty of their releases, the finesse and ingenuity that goes into making the physical representation of an album be something unique and special, is what made me want to take part in creating some as well. Before we continue today's video, I just want to give a quick thanks to everyone who supports me over at Patreon. If you would like to help support the channel, as well as gain access to exclusive rewards and content like access to our patron-only Discord server, Club Chennington, head on over to my Patreon page through the link in the description below. Cheers, and back to the cassettes. The next cassette we are going to be looking at is actually, as of this video, unreleased. This is Bloom, a 9-track concoction of field recordings, percussion, and synthesizers. Bloom is given the full-body print treatment, but unlike the Dream Channel release, this art takes up the entirety of the cassette. So any of the areas that don't have trees all just add this fogginess to the cassette, perfectly playing into the background behind the forest. The cassette just breathes this wet, rainy day feel in the middle of the woods, and all of the art is slightly raised up a bit, which just helps it pop that much more. The tape was inspired by the artist's own photography. Liminal Garden told me that the idea of the cassette design was quite risky actually, having daylight shining through the frosted white tape, working out not only on just the mock-ups for the cassettes during the design phase, but on the printed tapes as well, was a complete stroke of luck. What I'm looking for in the artwork for a Liminal Garden release is that it's eye-catching, tells a story, and generally fires the imagination of those looking at it. Often it's what gives an album or even an artist their identity. Ikebana Online by Bubble Keiki is a special, beautiful album with a bittersweet story at its heart. In 2019, the artist was struck down by severe illness. In this time of uncertainty and pain, the artist discovered a strange attraction for Ikebana tutorial videos on YouTube, or the Japanese art of flower arrangements. Those videos, despite having often low quality, had a strange soothing effect on the troubled mind and body of the sickened artist. This album is inspired by that cumbersome journey. Agitated lo-fi noises meet soothing melody lines and ethereal pads mimicking the ups and downs, hopes and troubles that come with long-lasting illness and slow recovery. Ikebana Online is a symbol of hope, a promise that relief can be found even during the darkest hours of existence in the most unusual places. The cassette pays tribute to the Ikebana artwork with subtle pink flower petals sprinkled over the transparent cassette shell. A colorful OB strip is paired with the case also, and just looks absolutely great. Much like with the tapes, each album deserves a tailor-made approach to its packaging. Some albums just scream for a nice OB strip, others need an expansive J-card with additional artwork on multiple panels, and some might have a printed shell and no J-card at all. And last but definitely not least, the moment you've all been waiting for, the cassette I can confidently say is the holy grail of my cassette collection, Rainforest Deity by Chika Tetsu. Where do I even begin with this one? First of all, this was the cassette that helped me even discover Liminal Garden in the first place. I woke up one day, pulled up Twitter, and I saw a retweet that was showcasing the upcoming cassette drop for Rainforest Deity, and I was immediately blown away. I've never seen anything like this before on a cassette. Full color on-body printing on both sides of a transparent dark blue shell. Whether you're holding it in a room with no windows at all or directly into the sunlight, this cassette seems to just emit this unbelievable shine and energy no matter which way you look at it. The neon light blue and the Buddha and other elements of the cassette just glow in any setting. For this masterpiece, Liminal Garden looked at the original cover that came with the album, listened to the music, read the liner notes, and then tried to envision how the tape for all of that should look. They were fascinated by the partial UV print techniques that are available, so using them for this release was inevitable. The cover has a very cool color scheme going on. It's almost like it has a glowing fluorescent effect. That's what I wanted with the tape as well. So it's a case of looking at what tape colors are available and coming up with a corresponding color scheme for the print. I first created only the A side and mocked that up for Chika Tetsu to get some feedback. Luckily, she really liked the concept, so I could also create the B side. Then it's a matter of preparing the files for printing, sending them off, and hoping for the best. Every graphic designer will know what I'm talking about. You can plan a design as much as you want, you never know exactly how it will come out in the printing. Fortunately, they turned out really nice. The final step, but not the least important one, is to make decent photos of the tape. I'm not a fan of presenting my releases as mock-ups, so creating good photos that sell the look of the cassette is essential. Liminal Garden is simply blown away by all the reception the label has been getting as of recent, and it's no surprise to see why. They are currently working on a backlog of albums right now to turn into tape releases. Each of these individually numbered rare cassettes are printed at runs of only 25 copies each, hence leading to these selling out extremely quickly when they drop. My main goal with the packaging is that the people who get a tape feel like they own something special and unique in the world. To that end, I'm hand numbering all tapes and everyone gets a personalized message on a handmade card. Looking into the future, I definitely want to do even more special goodies for each package. I already have a couple of ideas planned, so they hopefully will show up soon. I want to give a huge thank you to Liminal Garden for sending me all of these cassettes. It is an honor to hold these in my music collection, and I do plan on finally doing a complete tour of my entire music collection towards the beginning of 2022. And when I finally arrange everything the way I want it to be, you best bet these beauties are going to be on full display, so be on the lookout for that video in the future. It is definitely going to be a fun one. Click here for my video on 10 tragically lost and unreleased music albums, or a disturbing online music mystery, for more deep dives into music, and I'll see you there. Thanks again for spending some time with me today, and until next time, much love, your boy, and we'll talk soon, Pad Chennington.